We thought coming off that historic draft, these rookies have put on quite a season, and it's not just Caitlin and Angel, Rickea Jackson and other rookies are at the league right now. We do sit at this intersection of culture and sport and fashion and music. Like the WNBA players are really looked at now as kind of cultural icons. Games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another. So the social media is different today than it was in 1979 when it didn't exist.
The WNBA is on fire right now, but not in a good way. Players are calling out the commissioner for dropping the ball on racial harassment. It's like watching a heated game, but the stakes are way higher than just points on a scoreboard. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. So here's what went down. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Englebert went on CNBC and said some stuff that got everyone talking. She was all about the Clark-Reese rivalry, comparing it to Bird Johnson. You know, like it's all good for the game. But then she said something that made players go, wait, what? Engelbert basically told players to just ignore the hate on social media, like it's no big deal. Can you believe that? It's like telling a player to shake off a hard foul. But this isn't just about the game anymore. You won't believe what happened next. The players, they weren't having any of it. It's like the whole league just erupted. We're talking superstars speaking out, the Players Association getting involved. It's wild. The league erupted, but that was just the beginning. What if the WNBA's biggest stars were willing to put everything on the line to fight back? Some players are taking a stand that could change the game forever. You won't believe how fast things heated up. The WNBA's top players aren't just talking about jump shots and rebounds anymore. They're firing back at the commissioner, and it's getting intense. Alicia Clark didn't hold back. She said, I wish Engelbert would have just said that it's not okay. At the end of the day, when we take these uniforms off, we're human beings. That's heavy stuff. Clark's not just talking about basketball. She's talking about being a person first, player second, and she's not alone. Breanna Stewart jumped in too. She said, we want our sport to be inclusive for race, gender, and really a place where people can be themselves. Stewart's calling out Engelbert for not using her power to shut down the racial hate. It's like the players are drawing a line in the sand. But here's where it gets real. The WNBPA, that's the Players Association, is stepping up big time. Terry Jackson, their executive director, didn't mince words. She said, this kind of toxic fandom should never be tolerated or left unchecked. It demands immediate action and frankly should have been addressed long ago. Think about that for a second. The Players Union is basically saying, we've had enough and we're not waiting anymore. They're not just asking for change. They're demanding it. You know what's wild? This isn't just about some mean comments online. We're talking death threats and racial slurs aimed at players like Angel Reese. It's ugly stuff, and it's been going on for way too long. Imagine being a player in the WNBA right now. You're trying to focus on your game, but you're also dealing with this storm off the court. It's like trying to shoot free throws while someone's yelling in your ear. The gap between the players and the commissioner? It's looking more like a canyon right now. On one side, you've got Engelbert talking about rivalries and social media. On the other, you've got players fighting for respect and safety. Jackson from the WNBPA put it perfectly. She said the conversation shouldn't be about rivalries. It should be about keeping players safe and respected. It's like the commissioner and the players are speaking two different languages. With the players and commissioner at odds, the WNBA seems stuck, but here's a wild thought. What if this conflict is exactly what the league needs to level up? The game plan for change might be simpler than you think. Let's talk about turning this mess into a slam dunk for the WNBA. Yeah, things look rough right now, but there's a chance to make some real changes that could transform the league. First up, we need some clear rules. Imagine if the WNBA had anti-harassment policies that were as solid as the backboard. No more confusion about what's okay and what's not. Fans would know exactly where the line is, just like players know where the three-point line is on the court. But rules are just the start. We need to educate fans too. Think about it like this. When you first start watching basketball, you might not know all the rules. Someone has to teach you, right? Same thing here. The WNBA could run programs to help fans understand why respect and inclusivity matter so much. Picture this, a WNBA where every player feels as safe as they do in their own home court, where fans cheer their hearts out but know how to keep it clean. That's not just good for the players. It's good for the whole game. You know what's crazy? These changes could actually make the WNBA bigger and better than ever. When players feel respected, they play their best game. And when fans know how to support their teams the right way, everyone has more fun. Remember what Breanna Stewart said about wanting the sport to be inclusive? These changes could make that happen. We're talking about a league where players can focus on their game instead of worrying about hate online. But here's the thing, this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about creating a space where everyone can be themselves, on and off the court. It's about showing the world that sports can lead the way in making things better. Imagine tuning into a WNBA game and seeing players giving it their all, knowing they're backed by a league that's got their back. Fans in the stands, cheering like crazy, but keeping it respectful. That's the kind of league that could inspire people way beyond basketball. So yeah, right now things look rough, but this could be the moment where the WNBA changes the game, not just for basketball, but for how we treat each other in sports and maybe even beyond. You've seen the headlines, but have you considered the domino effect? This controversy might just be the spark that ignites a revolution in how we view, support, and protect athletes. The WNBA is facing a crossroad, and it's not just about one interview or one commissioner, it's about reshaping the entire league. Let's talk about what could happen if the WNBA really steps up. Imagine a league where players feel as safe as they do on their home court, even when they're scrolling through social media. That's not just good for the players, it's a game changer for everyone. Think about it. When players aren't worrying about racial harassment, they can focus on what they do best, playing incredible basketball. We're talking about unlocking a whole new level of performance. Players giving it their all, knowing they've got a league that's got their back. That's the kind of basketball that gets fans excited. And speaking of fans, this could be huge for them too. A WNBA with strong anti-harassment policies? That's like creating a VIP section for every fan who knows how to cheer without crossing the line. It's about building a community where everyone can enjoy the game without fear or hate. Remember what Breanna Stewart said about wanting the sport to be inclusive? This is how we make that happen. We're not just talking about basketball anymore. We're talking about creating a space where everyone can be themselves on and off the court. You know what's wild? These changes could actually make the WNBA bigger and better than ever. When players feel respected, they play their best game. And when fans know how to support their teams the right way, everyone has more fun. It's like upgrading from a high school gym to a state-of-the-art arena. The game's the same, but the experience is on another level. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just about the WNBA. This could be the moment where women's sports change the game for everyone. Imagine other leagues looking at the WNBA and saying, that's how it's done. We're talking about setting a new standard for how athletes are treated, not just in basketball, but in every sport. This is bigger than basketball. It's about showing the world that sports can lead the way in making things better. It's about creating a league where players can ball without fear, where fans can cheer without hate, and where everyone can see themselves represented on the court. So yeah, right now things look rough, but this could be the moment where the WNBA changes everything, not just for basketball, but for how we treat each other in sports, and maybe even beyond. It's like we're standing at the free throw line with the game on the line. The question is, will the WNBA sink the shot? Alright, let's wrap this up. We've seen the WNBA go from a slam dunk to a full court press in just a few days. Players are fired up, the commissioner's on the hot seat, and fans are watching from the sidelines. But here's the thing, this could be the moment that changes everything. Imagine a WNBA where players feel safe, fans know how to cheer without hate, and everyone's focused on the game. That's not just good for basketball, it's good for sports everywhere. So what happens next? Will the WNBA step up and make some real changes, or will they drop the ball? It's like we're all watching the final seconds of a tied game. The clock's ticking, and the league's got the ball. What do you think they should do? How can we make the WNBA better for everyone? Let us know what you think.